Yo, what's going on, guys? It's your man, the Grass Ninja. Welcome to the channel. Look, man, we're talking about Sarada Uchiha. Some of y'all might have voted in the polls or whatnot, but right now, she needs a power-up, alright? Sarada's in desperate need for something new, because right now she's just being left in the dirt, okay? As things are right now, Sarada is arguably the weakest member of Team 7. If you exclude Konohamaru, that is, right? And that's not just me saying that, right? According to our community polls, majority of you guys, right? Majority of the people ranked Sarada as the weakest out of the four. So with Sarada being put in the spotlight in Boruto chapter 76, we learn that Sarada's still unaffected by Ida's charms, and we don't really, like, you know, we're not going to go into that for this video or whatever. And like, she's now put in this very unique position where she could potentially try to attempt and throw hands with someone like Ida and subsequently Damon. So like, what chance does Sarada have against people like them at her current level, especially if she's the weakest out of Team 7? Because it's important to point out, Damon, not too long ago, easily knocked out Kawaki and Boruto, right? Now, when you take that and you pair it with the rankings we have, according to our community polls, right? Sarada sits at the bottom, right? With Mitsuki above her, Boruto above him, and Kawaki sitting at the top, overpowering all of them, right? Now, on surface level, when you take all that into consideration, it appears Sarada just has zero chance of walking away from a fight with Ida or Damon, right? But if we take a look just a few chapters back, right? Just a few chapters past, right? We might actually find some foreshadowing for Sarada to receive some brand new power-up. Like, there's potential for power-ups coming in the future, right? Now, what I'm thinking here, right, or what I'm talking about here, is that just a few chapters ago, Boruto died, right? We all know this. Boruto died. He told Sarada and Mitsuki about it, even though he couldn't go into all the details, right? But he told them about his death, which ended up motivating her and Mitsuki, and they end up saying that they need to be able to protect Boruto from Otsutsuki level threats. So Sarada is out here saying that she needs to reach Otsutsuki tier in order to be able to protect Boruto. And even before that, though, Kawaki, like, if we go back further, right, even before that, Kawaki forces Team 7 to spar with him, right? Instead of doing the chakra control training and meditating and all that stuff, Kawaki forces them to spar. And Kawaki at this time, he hasn't even reawakened the karma yet or anything. So this is Kawaki with no karma. And he's out here besting Sarada in combat, literally requiring Boruto to step in just to save her. Right? Now this kind of means, right, you could kind of take this as base Kawaki over base Sarada, right? After besting Sarada in combat, or at least catching her off guard and stuff, right? Kawaki makes a very good point when he's defending his actions, right? He says that this traditional shinobi training stuff, it's completely useless, right? How long do you guys actually plan to train like this before we become strong enough to fight people like Code? 3 years? 5 years? 10 years? Like, keep in mind, he's talking about Code with his limiters. You know what I'm saying? So he's saying, like, how long do you guys plan to train before you're strong enough to do that? 10 years? Right? Sarada doesn't have the luxury of time. Konoha doesn't have the luxury of time right now. And if we look into Boruto's visions from the future, right? Sarada and Mitsuki, they're on the move, right? Team 10, everybody's on the move right now. So with Boruto 76, right, shining this spotlight on Sarada, it kind of illuminates all this foreshadowing that was potentially laid out for Sarada to develop more and more, eventually leading to her discovering this need to awaken some new source of power, right? Because she's got to realize how weak she is, right? Because like right now it's just impossible, right? Like she's irrelevant to the story, but they're shining the spotlight on her, so maybe there's foreshadowing and they're gonna set something up. Now, when it comes to the current manga form of Sarada Uchiha, her most notable powers would be like 3 Tomo Sharingan. She has Chidori. She can use Fire Style. She has Taijutsu, and Shuriken Jutsu or whatever. Now, Kawaki's completely correct. Traditional methods are just too slow, and Sarada's too far behind, right? She needs something big. She needs something huge in order to protect anyone from an Otsutsuki level threat, the way she is right now at least. Now, when it comes to potential power-ups for this version of Sarada, I'm going to be presenting 3 different paths Sarada could theoretically take in order to level up or achieve some substantial power-up that would scale to the threat. Firstly, though, before we go into the thing, let's just get this one out the way, okay? Honestly, it's probably the most boring power-up idea out there right now, but there's still going to be some guy or some person out there that's going to go, when Sarada gets her Mangekyo Sharingan, she can add the Byakugo seal. Look, that idea is super cool and everything, like, I don't have anything against it, but it's also like 7 years old at this point or whatever, and if we're talking about the current threat level, an EMS level power-up arguably has nothing on people like Kawaki, Boruto, and Damon, right? Since these dudes are out here like in this Ishiki or above Jigen bracket of power right now. They're in this Otsutsuki tier, meaning Mangekyo Sharingan, 100 healings, like Shippuden War Arc level stuff isn't gonna be enough anymore. Especially if we consider Momoshiki's prophecy to Boruto about how a catastrophe is coming, and Sarada, according to these visions, seems to be in the middle of it all, right? I wouldn't be surprised if everything actually goes to shit and she fails this mission and everything is just like how Momoshiki says, like, you'll lose everything. This will also have an effect on Sarada, and when we move forward into the time skip, we might follow like a brand new Sarada, like a Sarada who's kind of adopted this ideology that Kawaki spoke about, right? Like having Sarada explore more unconventional means to acquiring power. You know, since like as she'll find more and more obvious that she is weak and that she does not have the luxury of time. She doesn't have 3, 5, 10 years to train to eventually be on the same level as limited code, right? So second, since we got that one out of the way, I don't really think Byakugo Seal with Mangekyo Sharingan, I don't really think that scales, right? So second, if that is the case, right, and 100 healings with Mangekyo Sharingan or EMS level powers, if that doesn't scale to the current threat, then like what sort of power-up could Sarada actually end up getting that would scale, right? What kind of power-up would actually end up scaling with the current threat? Now, as crazy as this sounds, especially since I just said Warrock stuff wouldn't like scale to the current threat, I assure you I'm going to make this one make sense, okay? So, if we take a look at Sasuke in the 4th Great War, Sasuke, back with his EMS, was relative to like KCM1 Naruto, right? And then when he paired up with Jugo, he could help fight alongside KCM2 Sage Naruto, right? This same Sasuke, right, with Jugo's help and everything, all that, gets one shot by Renegon Madara. This is one Renegon, no Ten Tails Madara, and he literally is left there to die, right? So Sasuke, who's scaling underneath KCM2 Sage Naruto, gets one shot by Madara. Madara then powers up and becomes the Ten Tails Jinchuriki. Now Minato says that this Madara, this Ten Tails Jinchuriki Madara, is way more powerful than the Ten Tails Obito that Sasuke was just helping Naruto fight. So not only is this Madara like way more powerful than 6 Paths Obito, right? But he also spends a good amount of time like experimenting and getting acquainted with all his new abilities when he's fighting off Kakashi, Obito, Minato, Might Guy, literally Rock Lee and Gaara were there too. So now like EMS Sasuke, who gets one shot by this one Renegon, no Jubi Madara, this same Madara is so powerful, right, that Hagoromo is comparing Madara's power to his own, and then suggested it may even be growing and reach a level like Kaguya's. So we're like officially in this Otsutsuki tier of power when we're talking about Madara, right? And Hagoromo gives Sasuke 6 Paths Chakra, which awakens a Renegon, And he jumps from being below 10 Tails Obito, below KCM2 Sage Mode Naruto, right? EMS Sasuke jumps from there all the way to being able to fight and push back Kaguya Otsutsuki, who's supposed to be like multiple 10 Tails stronger than Madara at this point. Now, my point here, right, bringing this up, is that 6 Paths Chakra is no joke, bro. It's like multiple 10 Tails worths of power, right? It could possibly be passed down onto Sarada Uchiha, right? Now, here's the thing. Thanks to Momoshiki, Sasuke can't just like pass on his Rinnegan, right? If Sasuke's dying, Sarada can't just take his eyes, let alone a dual set of eyes to even try to give her dual EMS, right? But he should kind of possess his 6 Paths Chakra still, right? Because Sasuke, along with his Rinnegan, was actually gifted 6 Paths Chakra, right? So this chakra comes directly from Hagoromo, right? And Sasuke's 6 Paths Chakra mainly manifests through like Sasuke's Rene Jutsu, but it's also used to power jutsu like his 6 Paths Chidori, right? The 6 Paths Chidori was capable of tagging a Limbo clone. So what is this 6 Paths Chakra? Well, if you actually Google what is 6 Paths Chakra, this page is going to pop up, which is completely redundant. It tells you nothing. But it says 6 Paths Chakra is the chakra of the Sage of 6 Paths, Hagoromo Otsutsuki, who was the son of Kaguya. He was super powerful, and he created the Biju. Now, all we really get from that is that 6 Paths Chakra is Hagoromo's chakra. So, like, what is Hagoromo's chakra? Well, 6 Paths Chakra, or Rikudo Chakra, is the unique chakra of Hagoromo Otsutsuki. 6 Paths Chakra can be acquired from Hagoromo directly by combining the chakra of his sons Indra and Ashura, which forms Rinnegan, or by becoming the 10 Tails Jinchuriki, all of which are considered to be 6 Paths Chakra. Now, the power of the 6 Paths is wild because 6 Path powers are special abilities in Naruto where like they pertain to Hagoromo's chakra in one way or another. See, we have to point that out because Sasuke describes his Amenote Chikara and Naruto's Truth Seeker orbs as blessings of their 6 Path powers. Also, he says that the 6 Path powers are special powers that reinforce your ocular jutsu and your ninjutsu. So 6 Paths Chakra literally blessed Sasuke with so much power that he went from underneath Sage Mode Naruto, or underneath Sage Mode KCM2 Naruto, who was under 10 Tails Obito, who was under 10 Tails Madara, right? Who was under Kaguya, you know? So Sasuke goes from underneath all those people to being so powerful that he could literally bisect Jubi Madara with ease, like it was nothing. Like I said, he was literally pushing back Kaguya. So how does EMS Sasuke with 1 chakra amp go extra high in power, like multiple 10 tails of power, right? Now, that's the crazy part. So 6 Paths Chakra is ridiculous, but wait, how does Sasuke actually take that and pass it down to Sarada, right? Like I said, Momoshiki has taken away his Rinnegan. And 2, since Momoshiki's taken away his Rinnegan, and 2, does Sasuke still have 6 Paths Chakra? Because like we said, the Rinnegan is a form of 6 Paths Chakra. Now, considering that Sasuke is still able to sense Momoshiki's presence, like his body still reacts to Momoshiki flexing his presence on the physical world or whatever, like his body literally recognizes the time manipulation Shinjutsu as a similar sensation to when he had his Rinnegan, right? So I find it highly likely that Sasuke does still possess his 6 Paths Chakra. It's just that his main instrument to like using it properly, which was the Rinnegan, is destroyed, right? So if Sasuke can't actually use his 6 Paths powers properly, then why not get rid of them and just pass them on, right? Like, I get it bolsters his ninjutsu and his ocular jutsu, but he has EMS with Sage of 6 Paths powers, and he's really powerful, whatever. But now you gotta ask the question, Well, how the hell does he even pass the 6 Paths Chakra to Sarada if he can't use the Renegon, right? The Renegon's destroyed, so how is he going to facilitate that transfer? Now, this is where we need to talk about chakra control, specifically 6 path level chakra control, okay? So, you see, chakra control is vital in like all forms of jutsu in Naruto, and some of the craziest feats in the story actually come from people passing on their 6 paths chakra to other people. So what I'm talking about here is things like Nagato, right? Nagato was the first person we see display any 6 paths powers at all, and he had them given to him by Madara. Now this was a transplant, and I already talked about how Sarada can't receive one from Sasuke because the Renegon was destroyed. But Obito, after he died, used his high level chakra control and his 6 paths abilities to quite literally travel from the afterlife to give his chakra to Kakashi, which literally gave him a 6 paths Mangekyo Sharingan. Kakashi went from completely irrelevant to like pushing back Kaguya based off of a 6 paths chakra transfer. And of course, Hagoromo transferred his 6 paths chakra to both Naruto and Sasuke at the same time, right? So it's not unheard of or anything that like you should be able to pass down your 6 paths chakra or whatever. Even Kurama, right? We should take Kurama's statements on Sasuke's chakra control, because Kurama states that Sasuke's chakra control is actually comparable to the Sage of 6 Paths himself, right? When he siphoned off all the Biju chakra and then added it to his Susanoo, he's like, he just reverse engineered what the Sage did. So his chakra control is literally comparable to Hagoromo's, right? Which means right now, as an adult, Sasuke should only be stronger or have superior chakra control. And doing something like isolating his existing 6 paths chakra and like passing it onto or transferring it into Sarada wouldn't sound like unreasonable. Like, we have precedents for it. It's been done before. Also, though, I think it's interesting if we take Kurama's explanation on Baryon mode into account. He actually mentions how Baryon mode is completely different than KCM or 6 paths chakra, because those forms are Naruto essentially pulling chakra from these shelved off sources of power that's like stored within him, right? Now, what if Sasuke has like his Sage of 6 Paths chakra shelved off separate from his base chakra, similar to what Naruto's doing, right? Now, if Sasuke can isolate that 6 Paths chakra and then give it to Sarada, that might actually push the door of Otsutsuki tier, because Sarada right now, she's at like 3 Tomo in the manga or whatever. If you push her with that Otsutsuki chakra, or if she gets MS plus Byakugo and it's still not enough, 6 Paths chakra might be the thing to push her to that Otsutsuki tier, right? Now, Sarada with 6 Paths chakra would be wild. Remember, it reinforces your ocular jutsu, which means her Sharingan and everything would be stronger, and it heightens her ninjutsu. So that means like Chidori, fireballs, all that stuff. Everything gets heightened. Sasuke went from underneath KCM2 Sage Mode Naruto all the way to being able to rival the Ten Tails Jinchuriki Madara and even like pushing Kaguya, right? And then Kakashi went from completely irrelevant, right, to pushing Kaguya back after using Obito's 6 Paths chakra. So like the transfer of 6 Paths chakra isn't completely impossible, and if anything, it's like extremely powerful. It's a real thing. So without a doubt, Sarada accessing 6 Paths chakra would be insane. Probably won't ever happen if you ask me, but I wonder if Sasuke actually does have the ability to transfer his 6 Paths chakra without the aid of his Renegon. Because perhaps maybe he can't, right? Maybe he needs the Renegon to do that. Or perhaps he could try to install his 6 Paths chakra into Sarada, similarly to how like Itachi had to install the Amaterasu within Sasuke in the event Sasuke ever ran into Obito or whatever, which we saw happen. Now, this could actually turn into an actual obstacle that Sasuke would have to face, because if it is impossible, right? Even if he does have 6 Paths chakra, his Renegon was the instrument that he used to access and weaponize it, right? To manipulate it. Which is why I had one more way I think Sarada could possibly power up, and this power up also ends with 6 Paths power. So if Sasuke can't pass down his 6 Paths chakra, then why not engineer more 6 Paths chakra? Now finally we get into the craziest part of the video, and I'm taking into consideration the current level of scientific engineering in Boruto. Okay, I've always wondered why Konoha hasn't been manufacturing any 6 Paths Chakra artificially. Now, I'm not talking like Naruto and Sasuke sharing blood or whatever and like reawakening Rinnegan that way. I'm actually more interested in the Hashirama Cell, Orochimaru's role in all of this, and what actually happened with Madara's body after the war. Okay, so after defeating Kaguya Otsutsuki, right, because let's just establish the facts. Team 7, the 9 Bijuu, and Madara are all summoned back to the earth by Hagoromo. Now, see, before Sasuke goes and like starts sealing off the Bijuu or whatever, there's actually a couple of important things that happen here that I feel like people forget. For one, Hagoromo begins to undo the reanimation jutsu. Now, this is going to set the Hokage free, and they're going to return to the afterlife. Hashirama moves over so he can talk with Madara, and they speak about how they're going to meet up in the next world, how they're going to meet up in the afterlife, and they can hang out as war buddies, right, and tell stories and everything. Now, the Edo Tensei, or like Madara dies, right, the Edo Tensei is released. Now, most people chop this up to being the end of Madara's story, right, like he goes to heaven and he gets to hang out with Hashirama. But the dude has died before, like 3 times, sort of. And notice, we don't actually have any confirmation on Madara's corpse or how it was handled after the war. Like, was it destroyed? Or did like Naruto or Sasuke or Konoha decide to like preserve it somehow and to respect like the Uchiha name or something so Sasuke wouldn't go batshit crazy? Or like what happened with Madara's corpse, right? This is why I bring up the Hashirama cells, because literally Hashirama in his day was so powerful that people stole samples of his DNA. They were literally grave robbing Hashirama and like just chopping off bits of his flesh, right? They would take that stolen DNA, implant it into themselves or into other people or whatever, and this would give people his chakra and his wood release, considering you didn't die from the process or whatever. If you were compatible with it, you would get Hashirama's chakra and you would get access to wood release. Now, this is why Madara's body is so important, because just how Hashirama cells can be cultivated and then implanted, could you receive a similar power-up or something similarly powerful with Madara's cells, right? Madara's body after the war is already fused with Hashirama cells, meaning technically Madara's cells by the end of the war possibly just possess 6 Paths Chakra, right? It's equivalent to the flesh of Hagoromo, right? And if that wasn't like, you know, crazy enough, right? I'm pretty sure post-war arc Orochimaru could possibly engineer some artificial 6 Paths Chakra. Like if they have Madara's body, it's doable, right? Because Orochimaru with Madara's corpse post-war arc or whatever is crazy to think about. But Orochimaru, does he have the know-how to actually cultivate 6 Paths Chakra or Madara cells, right? Like, now for that, I think we should actually look into Kabuto, right? Because does Orochimaru have the knowledge that Madara's body is a valuable asset to his Hashirama research? You know what I'm saying? So I think we need to look at Kabuto and how he interacted during the war arc. Because Kabuto, after seeing Madara's reanimation in action, basically speaks with Madara through like the Tsuchikage Mu or whatever, the mummy dude. And then Madara confirms Orochimaru's theories on combining the Sharingan with Hashirama cells, yielding like crazy powerful results or whatever. Like, this is how we see Obito be super powerful too. Now, Kabuto even suggests that based off of all of his experimentation, so how he has all of like the Sound 4's abilities, how he has Suigetsu's abilities, Karin's abilities, how he has Jugo's abilities, how he has Sage Mode, all of his experimentation, right? Along with Orochimaru's research on the Hashirama cells, right? Which Kabuto also has, right? If Kabuto was actually successful in his plans to capture Sasuke, he quite literally could have awakened 6 Paths Chakra, possibly even Rinnegan or whatever, because Kabuto was going off, bro. He was saying, I'm like, after I capture Sasuke, I'll be the closest thing to the stage of 6 Paths on the planet. So, of course, Kabuto ends up losing to Itachi, he's forced to release the Edo Tensei, and he's left like frozen in Izanami or whatever. But for a while, right? For a while, he's just frozen there, and Sasuke revives Orochimaru, right? Now, when Orochimaru's revived, he basically absorbs all of his chakra back out of Kabuto. So he takes his powers from Kabuto, along with all of Kabuto's knowledge of what's been going on in the war so far. Which means Orochimaru, who was inside of Kabuto, has all of Kabuto's knowledge or whatever, literally remembers Kabuto's conversation with Madara, right? Now, this is powerful, okay? So if Orochimaru does have access to Madara's body, and he knows how to cultivate the cells of Madara's body, right? Cultivating the Hashirama cells alongside Madara's cells could hypothetically result in some new 6 Paths Chakra cells or something. I don't know what you want to call them, but literally cultivating these two things together literally is going to create 6 Paths Chakra. It might not form Rinnegan, because if you do it through genetic splicing or whatever, you could just create a material that is producing 6 Paths Chakra. And considering the current level of science in the Boruto era, right, given the resources, people like Orochimaru or even Amado could possibly engineer some sort of 6 Paths Chakra pill. Like in the light novels, people were taking drugs to get tailed beast cloaks, right? So like a 6 Paths Chakra pill might not even be that far-fetched either, right? Or maybe Sarada, instead of taking pills or whatever, could receive some sort of genetic transplant where she gets this new 6 Paths Chakra cell implanted into her in order to augment her stats, right? She gets like Madara cells or like 6 Paths Madara cells, because we already said Madara was already like integrated with Hashirama cells, and his flesh was essentially that of Hagoromo, which is the 6 Paths, okay? So 6 Paths Chakra is no joke, right? And there's no one right way to obtain it. So like genetically or artificially manufacturing or engineering it, it's totally on the table. Now, Mangekyo Sharingan and 100 healings, like Shippuden War Arc stuff, it doesn't really scale to the current threat, which is Otsutsuki tier. And the 6 Paths Chakra, right, is War Arc stuff. But 6 Paths Chakra is quite literally the chakra of Hagoromo Otsutsuki, meaning whether Sarada gets it from Sasuke or whether she gets it transferred or implanted to her or whatever, genetic augmentations with Hashirama, Madara cell stuff. Either way, if she gets 6 Paths Chakra, she could technically have Otsutsuki Chakra. So, like, what do you guys think here? Like, what do you guys think? Is Sarada due a new power-up? Like, how is she supposed to reach this Otsutsuki tier of power? You think Sarada is, like, the weakest member on Team 7, excluding Konohamaru? Now, look, I'm going to be lurking in the comments, so let me know what you guys think about all this. If you made it this far, then go ahead and like and subscribe, right? This is an 11-page script. This is long. So, new videos drop every Thursday night. Keep your eyes out for community polls and community posts. This is why you need to be subscribed if you want to weigh in on content like this. So, I've been your man's Grass Ninja. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and peace.